$1 million in 12 months. That sounded insane to me too, but the more creators that I worked with, the more I saw it. There was actually a gap that separated them from the broke creators. And after helping other creators achieve their dream of making money online, here's how you get to $1 million in 12 months, even if you're starting from zero. So, month one. Alright, so there are these 5 phases that are super important for this roadmap to getting to $1 million. We're gonna head straight into month one, which is planting the seeds. So in month one of being a creator, your main job right now is just to post content, to see what works and to get your name out there. If nobody knows who you are, they can't buy from you. Once you start posting, you'll then notice that in your audience, on whatever platform you choose to post on, you actually have an audience split. So you'll have a specific demographic, a specific avatar that actually chooses to watch and engage in your content. And now it's your job to figure out who that is. So you'd go into analytics and break down things like gender, demographics. You want to check the YouTube analytics, check TikTok analytics, whatever analytics software you use, whatever platform you use, you go to the analytics and break down who's actually watching your videos. How old are they? What geographies and countries are they watching from? What's my gender split? Who is actually watching my content? Because until you know who's actually watching your content, you're not going to be able to go to the next step, which is to find a product that they would actually enjoy. If, for example, you're a handyman YouTube channel and you post tutorials on woodworking, it's not going to make sense for you to sell like a lip gloss or a lip tint, and vice versa. If you're a makeup channel and you post beauty content and health and fitness content, it's not going to make sense for you to start selling hammers one day. So until you know who your audience is, you're not going to then be able to know what the product is that you want to sell. Once you've analyzed your audience in month one, you're then going to want to go and find a product to sell. Now, if you're struggling with this, you want to go and look at other creators and look at what type of audience they garner and what type of products they're selling. For example, Chris Williamson is a huge podcaster, one of the biggest podcasts in the world. He has a YouTube channel as well, and the product that he sells is a brain drink. Well, of course, people that listen to his podcast are probably, they're more, intellectually inclined. They want to be productive. They want to work on themselves to have improvement. If he started selling burgers, for example, it might not resonate with his audience as much. Whereas Mr. Beast, for example, Mr. Beast covers everyone, including, younger audiences and younger kids. And what do they like? What does everyone like? Chocolate. That's why Mr. Beast is selling chocolate. So you got to figure out who your audience is and then work backwards to see, what products could I sell? And if you're still struggling, I have a guide of the best products to sell where I share the best products to sell as a creator in 2025 and 2026. I'm gonna link it down below so you can grab it for free and use that for inspiration as well. Once you've done that and once you've planted the seeds, month 2 is MVS Foundations. And what MVS stands for is Minimal Viable Store. You might have heard of what an MVP is. An MVP stands for Minimum Viable Product. And when you're a startup, when you're starting a business, your MVP is like, the first thing you can put out there to start getting feedback. In the e-com world, we're gonna do this thing called an MVS, which is a Minimum Viable Store, which is the most basic store, basic product you can sell to put out there to validate and get feedback from your customers. So what you can do to create a winning MVS, minimum viable store, is just to basically use like an AI store builder like Atlas or something. Find a lean supplier. I have a list of lean suppliers also included with that guide. Build out your store, set up all the basic infrastructure, things like payment processing, email flows, CS, taxation, CS customer service. Basically make it work end to end, and once you found a winning product with the lean supplier, then you basically have something to put out that people can actually see. This is what you do in months from 2 to 4, and you got to make sure you find a lean supplier that has the product that you want in stock. Now what I mean by a lean supplier is someone that can do on-demand products. So things like supplements on demand, t-shirts, hoodies on demand, whatever your product is, on demand with no MOQ. MOQ means minimum order quantity, so you don't have to buy in bulk before you can start selling. That's really important. Once you've done that, you then move on to month 5 and 8, and we're now in the sourcing and spreading range. You've now identified a product, you've created an MVS, you've gotten some feedback, you've gotten maybe a couple sales, you've gotten some emails in your email list. Now it's time for you to take it to the next level. Now you're gonna source a better product. So for example, if you're selling supplements, you might be selling, some white labeled supplements. Now it's time for you to find an agent in China, a private agent in China that can get you custom branding, really nice packaging, much better quality supplements, and also at a cheaper price. Now this means that you can't be selling on demand anymore, but that's okay because you've already validated your product. That's why we did month 2 and 4, which is the MVS Foundations. Because you've done that and you've laid the foundations to then source a better product, you're now in an amazing state where now you can actually start scaling up heavy and then selling good quality product and not having to worry about, is anyone going to buy my product, because you've already validated it. Then you're going to set up a custom email sequence. If you don't know, email in e-commerce drives 40% of revenue. That's right, almost half of the money people make in e-com is through emails. So you're gonna set up some good custom email sequences, either through an agency or you can do it yourself as well, perfectly fine. And then you're gonna take this to the next level by scaling with affiliate creators. You're gonna then find people in your space that have a similar audience to you, and you're gonna then go and give them affiliate codes and be like, hey, if you promote this, use my code Jason20, and then your customers can get 20% off, and I'll give you 10% of every order you sell. So the more you sell, the more it helps you, the more it helps me, we're a win-win. And in the sourcing and spreading stage, now you've actually got a legitimate business, you're getting customers in, you're starting to get some good sales and starting to see cash coming in, you'll be profitable at this point. Now you'll be making money. And now this is the most important part, because now you're gonna have to double down on this and take it to the next level. And we do that through advertising and annihilation. In month 9 to 10. You've now scaled pretty well, you've gotten a good supplier, your store's doing well, you may even hired a couple of people underneath, like virtual assistants overseas to help with customer service, etc. But now you're like, okay, organic isn't helping me as much, I gotta take this to the next level, I gotta run ads, I gotta pump. And then what you wanna do is you wanna set up a retargeting campaign on Meta. So Meta is Facebook and Instagram, and what a retargeting campaign is that people that have watched your videos or watched your content or interacted with you, but haven't bought from you directly, Facebook will then go and find those people, show them your ads, and then at a much cheaper cost, and then convince them to buy, because retargeting ads are the cheapest people to go and get, the cheapest customers to bid for in ads, and they're also the most likely to buy. So they're like the most low-hanging fruit possible. You want to run those ads on Facebook and Instagram, Meta, and then get some heavy ads on retargeting your existing audience. You then want to do the same thing on Google, so retarget your existing audience, and you can put this as a medium budget, because Google is basically bottom of funnel. So if someone's typing your product into Google and they get your ad, they're already searching for your product. Whereas Facebook is a interruption-based advertising platform, which means someone is scrolling through reels and then they get your ad. They're like, oh wait, I actually do want to buy this. So these guys are not as likely to buy it. These guys, they're probably going to buy it anyway because they're searching up, James's supplements. Then you also want to set up just a normal campaign in Google and Meta and a small budget for new customers. You're not retargeting, you're getting people that haven't really heard of you that much. They're not ever interacted with you that much, but you're going to see, can we convert them, and look at the results based on that. And the reason you want to do all of this is not only to scale your money, but also to train your pixel. So if you're not sure what a pixel is, I know there's a lot of gibberish right now. Pixel is a piece of code that goes on your website, and that code basically learns who is your target customer. And it figures out who should I actually show my ads to. And the more money you put behind your ad spend, the more people that come and buy, it learns, okay, this guy liked my supplement, this guy didn't like it so much, I'm not gonna show my ads to these type of people, I'm gonna show my ads to these type of people. And then it does it again. And then it basically finds out who should I actually show these ads to so I can get the most sales, get the most money. That's why this is super important. And then once you've done all this, you're gonna be in a really, really good state. You're gonna be making consistent money. You're gonna have like an on and off switch where you can just ramp up the ads and make more money, turn the ads down and make less money if you're running out of stock. You're in an amazing place. You now have money on the table. You now have a successful brand. Now you're left with a really, really big decision. You come into the end of your $1 million a year blueprint. It's time for the Millionaire Manifesto. Now, you're gonna take this one step above and bring on other creators with equity share. So this means that you're gonna find someone that's really, really big that probably wouldn't take an affiliate code from you anymore, but what they would take is percentage in your company. For example, KSI and Logan Paul, they launched their physical product brand, Prime. Now, if they went to Speed and was like, hey Speed, if you plug this Prime and just say use code Speed for 20% off, Speed would probably be like, dude, I'm way too big to do that. I'm way too big to do that. So then what they did instead was like, hey Speed, I'll give you, 6% of the company. If you can now promote this in all your streams, all your videos, I will give you part of the company. So if we do well, you do well as well. That incentivizes creators, and that also makes them want to promote your brand way, way, way more. So you're going to want to find other creators, big creators in your space, and give them part of your company so that they can then become part of the company and promote the product endlessly. The reason you want to do this is not only to increase sales, but because of this other thing that we're going to do over here, which is it increases the value of the company itself external to you. So right now, this was the cash machine that was printing cash. But if you went on holiday and stopped posting and stopped, doing anything, it would eventually die. But when you bring on other creators or other people in this machine, eventually you could go into the ether and it would still be okay. It would still pump because this would exist separately from you. And that's what you want to do, because if you have something that exists separately from you, this becomes something that you can actually sell. Not only does it make money, but it also exists and has value in itself that you can sell it out. So once you've done that, you then want to diversify with omni-channel. So what that means is basically you want to go to every shopping channel there is. You want to go to TikTok shop, you want to go on Amazon, you want to go, basically be available in as many places as you possibly humanly can, because you've done all the advertising now. And then with all the ads that are existingly working, now that your pixel is trained, you want to increase the ad spend on everything. You want to hire maybe a good agency and then start running ads, start spending money. You're in an amazing place. You're now printing cash. At this point, congrats. You're now at $1 million and you made it in just a year. But what lies ahead of you is a really, really heavy decision, which is, do you want to just print some cash and chill out, make some money, and live like a decent life? Or you want to go heavy, get funding, get investment, and try to sell this company at a huge exit? That's a decision that lies within your hands. That depends on what you want out of your life, and that's up to you to figure out. You can be like Chris Williamson and Newtonic, who just raised, $20 million for their drink company. Or you could be so many other small to mid-sized creators out there that are just making cash, they're making a good living, they're paying off their mortgages, they're living a great life by printing cash from whatever, coffee business they have, supplement business they have. They're not interested in exiting and selling for multiple millions, and they're not interested in putting that work in because they don't love business that much. They just want to live a good life. They want to create content. Whichever path you want, you now have the freedom and flexibility to choose. And there's no wrong answer. It just depends what you want out of life. But if you follow this roadmap step by step and do everything consistently with good guidance, with good education, with good mentorship, it's almost guaranteed that you can be in that position, that extremely amazing position where you can choose if you want to just have cash, or you can choose if you want to go big. And I really wish that every creator has the opportunity to be in that position and to get that level of freedom, because that's ultimately, that's what you guys did this for. That's what creators do this for. You wanted to make content and start a business to get freedom, and now you have that. If you like this and you want to know more about how you can get to this place, then I make content all about this sort of stuff. I love e-com, I love business, I love helping people. So subscribe. So I'll be posting more content like this. If you subscribe, you won't miss out. And I definitely drop some gems in my email list. If you subscribe to my email and newsletter, I'll be sharing some amazing stuff with you. Hope you guys stick around. Thank you guys so much.